To
to finish it finally?
Well, you know,
I'm working on my own time schedule. I mean, you get paid.
like in dog years or light years, or what do you mean?
Oh, I'm okay with projects that take a long time. Yeah, I know that doesn't.
Yeah. Because I have this thing where it's like, I like stare daggers of death at projects, and I'm like, I will finish this. I will get lost pinball flipping for the show. I'm totally exhausted. But I guess maybe tell us about that and any other machines that you can tell us about.
Yeah, well, as seen on TV, I've done a couple.
You haven't touched your water.
Oh my goodness.
Did you know that you're made of water and you need to drink it?
Okay, so I did my first pinball.
Wait a minute. Where did roller derby work into all your history?
Oh, a couple years ago, I just had a midlife crisis or a pre-midlife crisis, and I wanted to go beat people up. So I got into roller derby and did that for 2.5 years.
So which position were you?
I did jamming mostly. Yeah, but I did do blocking. I found that I could flip the bigger girls over by catching them under their elbow. So you get really low and get under your shoulder under them, and you stand up real quick, and they'll topple over.
So you use their weight against them.
Yeah, and they don't get up very fast. So.
You can apply that physics to your pinball machine.
Actually, it was kind of funny. The first time I ever did a jam, I looked through the rules, and I couldn't see anything in there that said that the jammer.
Wait, what? There's rules?
Yeah, there are rules. You're not supposed to.
I only watched the movie Whip It once, so I don't know.
Oh, terrible movie. Anyway.
Yeah, it was Dirty Dancing on roller skates. I swear to God, there was a scene where she should have just been carrying a watermelon because the plot was exactly the same. Then at the end, her mother's like, "You look great up there, kid. When I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong." Dirty Dancing.
Anyway, I caused this big drama when I looked at the rules, and it didn't say that I as a jammer, couldn't hit people. So the very first jam that I did, I took 2 steps off the line and hit the other jammer and knocked her flat on her ass and took off, and the other team's going to the referee what?
Did they do an instant replay where it's like,
I think I have it on film somewhere.
Cool.
Anyway, back to pinball before we get too far.
Oh yeah.
So, my first pinball I made when I was 14 or so. I made it on a piece of plywood, and I used a calculator to keep score. I put switches all over the playfield, and it hooked to the equal sign on the calculator. And I would preload the calculator with 1 + 1, and when the ball would strike the switch, it would hit equal, and it would just index the score. And actually, I'd working solenoids too. I got some old relays and converted them to kind of give a little kick on the slingshots. And then in the 90s, I made I destroyed a black belt by Bally. It's really tragic. I didn't know they were so rare. I sanded the playfield down and painted it blue. I was going to make this nerd-themed pinball with circuit board kind of look to it. And I used a Commodore 64, and I made a driver board that drove the solenoids and the lamps and got it all flipping and going. But then my computer stores failed, so I crunched up the case of it, the cabinet, and got rid of it.
It's gone?
I still have the playfield.
You should bring it back, and people will probably pay good money for that. But that's a good segue. I noticed there's a lot of great homebrew pinball here at the show. It seems like it's catching on.
Yeah.
So look, Jeri did it, and now look how good she is. So just if you want to do it, just get into it, get started, and go ahead and email us and ask us all sorts of questions, or maybe 1 question per email, reasonable time frame. But yeah, just the main thing is to just get out there and do it. Fire up your saws, because you're not going to get anything done by not starting. So, and it's not rocket science, right? What did you say once? You had that great quote about the couch?
Well, people think it's magical that I do so much, and I think the only difference between me and some other people is I just get off the couch at night and just do stuff, where people are stuck watching Lost.
I have, we have a team, a Battlefield Bad Company 2 on PC. I think I have 270 hours on it, and I still do this. I don't know.
How do you?
I don't sleep.
Oh, okay. Meth habit or something? Is that how it works?
I got Dog the Bounty Hunter told me to kick meth after I ran to Mexico, after I didn't complete a chip in China or something.
Oh yeah, I gotcha.
Okay, back to pinball. Let's see what we're doing here. We have 1 hour, right?
We're all right. Okay. There's one thing I want to say about doing projects, and I know you disagree, is do a project to the point where you feel satisfied with it. It's okay not to finish, in my opinion. You know, like this black belt pinball that I trashed. I feel very good that I got the solenoids and the lamps working, and that was fine. I was very pleased at that point.
Well, the important thing is to learn things, because you don't learn by succeeding, and when you get into this stuff, you're certainly going to fail far more than you succeed. But yeah, that'll get you started. So I guess what I would take from that is don't be afraid of failure and just give it a whirl. And yeah.
Yeah, and
but we
on
do
these
kind
new
of
ones-
disagree on that, though.
Yeah, on this newer one, I got to go farther. I got to get it past flipping and blinking, because I already did that with black belts. So
Right.
So.
So it's like it's a progression that you have to do.
yeah, so one of my pinballs that I'm working on right now, I'm doing it with a couple friends. The one I'm doing personally is as seen on TV. It's all these late night infomercial things that you might find, like the slap chop.
Okay, Billy Mays impression, go.
Bam! Oh, Coke habit. Dead. Too soon?
Too soon?
That's soon enough.
So I made a slap chop pop bumper based off Dennis Nordman's jumper bumper. So it has little pachinko balls in the top of it, and I kind of fabricated it so it looks like a handle. When the ball goes up in the pop bumpers, these little pachinko balls bounce around in this little chamber, and it looks like the ball's getting diced up. And a little TV that has a Pico projector.
Fresh food that you can eat for your family at home. Oh, Coke habit.
I'm gonna have to license.
Still too soon?
I need to license that music. They were they auto-tuned that commercial. Anyways,
And you have a little TV.
you have a little TV that the screen flips up. It's got acrylic that's kind of hazed up, and then a Pico projector that shines on it from the back. And the ball can pass through the screen. It looks really cool when the ball passes through because it casts a shadow, and as the ball rolls away, the shadow gets really big. I have a lazy boy on it where the ball gets diverted down a ramp and sits on the lazy boy. So our thoughts is that's going to be like the guy comes and he sits down and he's watching the TV, and then the wife comes in, is you hitting the ball against the chair and like, honey, go take the garbage out, and you'd be like, ah, god damn it. So
Watching my programs.
yeah, so we have a lot of,
Lost for 10 hours, like I apparently do, according to Jeri.
anyway, we have a lot of ideas. So I have my friend Tanyo, he's helping to do all the programming. He's a game designer. And so combination of all these different pinball play fields, hopefully we'll get a system and we'll get enough of a framework going that we can get one of them done.
Yeah, okay, I guess I could talk about my pinball. So in 2005, or '05 as I'd like to say, I think I was in the kitchen, and I was like, I should build a pinball machine, right? That was my thought process. I don't really have a pinball history like Jeri does, you know, I'm not like a pinball wizard or anything, but I find it interesting, I like the mechanics of it, and I'd always play them over the years. And I remember the first time I played a dot matrix display game, it was at the University of Platteville in the student area, and it was Batman. And I thought it was so cool I liked how the ball represented things. It was kind of I don't know, I just found it interesting. It was Batman, I remember it was 50 cents, which was like, $1,000 in 1992. And you put the quarter in and you'd be like, who are you? I'm Batman. And I'm like, this is awesome. And then that was Data East, right? And I know it wasn't the first DMD game, but it was the first one I saw. Dot matrix display. It was Checkpoint was the first, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And so many years later, I was building a Neo Geo cabinet actually, because I'm a Neo Geo fan as well. And I was like, okay, well, I'm doing this, but the next thing I should do is a pinball machine, because my reason for doing it was because I knew it would be astronomically difficult, right?
It's like the ultimate nerd toy, even just owning a pinball machine. You get a little bit of everything, electronics, art, you get some gameplay in there. It's just super cool.
Right, and there's all sorts of, you have a game on your phone or whatever, it's programming and art and sound, but this is everything, which makes it harder. So I started drawing things in 2005, and for some reason, anyone who has seen it, I wired the LED matrix by hand. It was like when your aunt...
For the display.
For the display. It's 64 by 8, so that's 512 LEDs. And there's shift registers behind them because the matrixing, I think I bought the cheapest LEDs I could, so they're not very bright. So if I multiplex them, they were too dim. So I put shift registers on every row. So, you know, like when your aunt makes a quilt for 5 years, for about 2 years, I just would buy some LEDs, wire it up, continue it.
That's insane.
You didn't know that?
No, I knew that, but that's still insane.
Well, it was kind of therapy. You know, like things you can do without thinking about it, like mowing the lawn or washing dishes. You know?
Just I'm gonna matrix some LEDs.
Yeah, it's like this drone, like brainless thing to do, right? So, but then in 2009 or 09, I was like, you know what? I got to get this thing finished.
Wait,
And
that means I have like 4 years to get mine done. So you can't.
look what I've done.
You've revealed that I have more time.
But I did probably about 90% of the work in the last year of it. And I'm self-employed, which does not mean unemployed. Some people seem to think. You ever get that? You probably don't, because no.
No, I don't.
Maybe it's a. All right. Anyway.
And you look like a bum. Are you unemployed?
Come on, I got my hair cut like what, 6 months ago. I'm not that bad. Anyway, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take a month off and just. I actually used to make these little remote control fighting robots. It was kind of fun, and I put a basic stamp in one years ago. So I'm like, oh, I'll get the new one, the propeller. And I'm not much of a programmer, so I didn't find the propeller language. Does that make sense? I don't know how to program C, so I didn't think the language was that stupid, right?
What? There's nothing wrong with basic.